Well, what's going on, social media, family, and friends? Once again, it is on this 11th day of January in the new year of 2023. Yours truly, Joe Dupree, Edward J. Brown in the building. Once again, it is Wellness Wednesday where your mental health matters. And I posted a very long post letting people know that we're going to have some difficult conversations about how people may look like everything's okay,
man,
but it's not necessarily okay. So, and we're here to let you know it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to take it to the point that you feel like your only way out is suicide. Suicide is huge, and a lot of folks. I posted a lot of pictures of a lot of folks that we have talked about on these podcasts who have unfortunately felt their only way out was to take their life. So my good friend Edward J. Brown, how you doing, my friend?
Hey man, it's always good to be here with you, man. What's going on? Listen, we had a few technical difficulties, but I like the way we bounced back. That post that you made today was incredible. I mean, you say it was long, but I couldn't stop reading it. So I want to thank you for taking the time out to put that up with all of these people who actually got involved and contacting us about making sure Wellness Wednesdays was going on. And for me, I like when we always talk about we're not doing this to be trendy.
Right.
We're doing this because we believe and we say we're not new to this, we're true to this, as the old guys say.
Very true.
And I think that this year, I want to take this podcast up to another level, and we're going to challenge some folks, and we're going to call some people out, political, social, economic, all genre of people to come and let's look at this other pandemic that I believe is impacting the African-American community and our society in general, which is that of self-harm and suicide.
Correct.
You know, we always get into that, I'm all about self-care in the beginning of the year, and the gym memberships go up by 60% and they drop by 80% midway through the year. So I think that self-care in regards to mental health is not an option.
Correct.
It is something that this year we are going to shed even more light, if it's possible, on this year, because I have a couple of things and ideas that I want to throw at you when we get a moment together. But I'd like for us to do some remotes from different places.
Yeah. We do the show from actually out in the community. We may even try to have a symposium where we will take questions from people and invite them out to speak about mental health issues and how vital it is that we continue to talk about this and come up with solutions that we can go through a time that people feel like they do have a place to go to and people to talk to when they are in mental health crisis. Mental health crises happen all the time, you know, and you have to have professionals that can really notice what's going on and quickly go in to de-escalate a situation before it gets out of hand. You know, something else I think we need to talk about as we move forward in 2023 is people who aren't who they say they are.
Woo, man!
People, you know that's getting to be
connected.
That's getting to be very popular. You know, I'm looking at this Representative Santos, and I'm very, very upset with this situation because he is literally not telling the truth in any shape, form, or fashion. Then, you know, when the Republicans jump up and say, well, this so-called half Jewish, half black, he's not black at all. No, he has no black, he has no African American in him. He is Latino and Republican, and y'all need to stop that because all of a sudden you can't make it that all of a sudden he's not telling the truth. You want to go ahead and give him off to the
hand him off to folks.
Hand him off to us. No. That's your guy. Hold it. And somebody would once say, that's your man.
That's your dude. That's your dude right there.
That's your man. So look, we need to talk about this because it seems to be in the last few years, and even within some political cycles, it seems to be that now it's okay for me not to be truthful with you. It's it's okay for me not to be
tonight. I can feel
with you. It's okay for me. It is now a norm for me just to literally lie to you about who I am, my education, my job background. Long as I get into a position that will help there's certain individuals, it will help them. Guess what? You good with me not being me. Long as I decide that me not being me gets me to where I need to get to, where I can help you.
It gives a whole new meaning to the term by any means necessary.
Right. Hold it.
There's a flip side to that coin.
This guy is a horrible Mr. Ridley. So we really got to start having some real, because this is a mental, you got to understand something. Think about this. We are always told as a people of color, the reason, they always try to put the double standard on us. They either say we don't have enough education, and then when we go get the education, then they say we don't have enough experience. But
I spent half my life in school.
Right. So it's either you don't have enough education or you don't have enough experience. And they use that to their advantage. When they put a guy over you who has less education than you, they say, well, the reason we're having this guy to manage you or to be your superior is because he has more experience. Then when you wind up with more experience and not enough education, they find somebody with more education than you.
Exactly.
And they say, well, the reason we putting this person over you is for they have more education. And even though you have more experience, this is a situation that we're going to make the standard, the education and not the experience. And
Ric Flair say, when you get the answer, they change the question.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of folks don't know that puts a serious, let me pull my toboggan off my head. That puts a serious mental strain on folk, even when they have to talk to their children and future generations. Because I tell people all the time, just let me know the rules of the game. I'll decide if I want to play the game or not.
I want to play. That's right.
But here's what gets me. When it comes down to a lot of things in today's society, they let you know the rules, but what they don't let you know is midstream of the game, they can change the rules. As the young folks say in one of their rap songs, it's cool when you do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Well, let me add to what you're saying, my brother. Think about this. What a person believes tells you exactly what they think about you. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. Sometimes we find ourselves caring more about other people than they care about themselves.
That's true.
Now, to take what you're saying, you can have a glimpse, you can have an idea of what rumors are about you. Let's say Brother Dupree. There's a rumor that he got 2 big toes on 1 foot. That's the rumor.
Correct.
Okay. So he cares enough about me to come and say, all right, Brother Brown, I got to tell you something. I don't really have 2 big toes on my left foot. I got 2 big toes on my right foot. And I don't want you to be out there believing this, what you're hearing, because I care about you and I don't want you looking like a fool like the rest of these people.
Right.
All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, okay, I appreciate that, man. That means a lot to me. And then I leave and the street committee catch me. And the street committee says, you know that dude, Joe, he got 2 big toes on his left foot. Now, he didn't came to you and told you. You decide to go back to Brother Joe and say, well, you ain't had to lie to me. Because them people say you got 2 big toes on your left foot and not on your right. But I just told you a week ago the truth.
Right.
So you choosing to believe what they say lets me know what you think of me.
Correct. I have a simple saying. I got to come back on here. Okay. I have a simple saying. And I use it every day in class. Every class I teach every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'll be actually teaching another class tomorrow. And one of the things I start off with the class is I ask the class, I say, what did you learn today, Charlie Brown or Peppermint Patty? And I tell them, if you're not learning something, you're literally dying.
Correct.
Then I hit them with my favorite initials, FFH, facts, feelings, and hearsay. Mm-hmm. I say, stick to the facts, stay out your feelings, and don't tend or even give an ounce of credit to hearsay.
So we may say, how does this apply to what Brother Dupree was saying earlier? It's a bunch of people that know that this brother lied. And you know it ain't gonna matter. Mm-mm. They're gonna still rock with him. They're gonna still roll with him. They're gonna still say, well, we don't think he should lose his job just because he lied about his qualifications.
Because it will literally shift the balance of power in this. One seat right now can shift the balance of power within the legislature of the lawmaking body of this country. And understand something. We have never been, as we begin to make our way to MLK Day, as we begin to celebrate the brother who was very much about rising us all to the place where we were on an even playing field, and we were all folks who were measured by not the color of our skin, but the content of our heart. And I can go on with every one of King's cliches throughout this podcast. But the truth about the matter is, right now, more than ever, we are more divided than ever. In 2023, Absolutely. I feel we're more divided than we were back in the days when we were still under the slave master. You know, and unfortunately,
we were pretty divided under the Trumpster. Under the Trumpster, we were divided.
I mean, we really right now don't know. You don't really know who to trust. I come to find out that there are conservative-based programs who go under the auspice of some type of institute of leadership or some type of, we're going to teach you about how government operates, or we're going to teach you this. When the truth about the matter is, what you're really doing is trying to get the best of us. And inundate us with a conservative ideology that the best of us begin to look like the guy that when our guy, Hakeem Jeffries, was getting the most votes, and the speaker, who is now the speaker, couldn't get enough votes. It took 15 votes to get him the votes, that they're going to throw in a person that looks like us that just happens to be a conservative and say, we're going to go ahead and nominate him. He was not qualified. He was brand new to the committee. He was brand new to the House. But no, just because his skin is brown and he is a conservative, we're going to throw him out there. They didn't even throw Tim Scott out there. I wish they had said, look, I nominate Tim Scott. But see, what we're coming to find out is, folks, and this door swings both ways. We got folk that look like us that can't stand us either. Woo. We got folks that look like us that will defend them before they defend us. We got folks that look like us that are truly taking the mantle of Stephen and Stevenette. They are just like Stephen and Django. They will see you riding up and question, why are you allowing this man to ride on this horse and you gonna let him stay in the big house? What's wrong with you? See, because they feel that everything that happens in our world needs to go through a conduit of their approval. Yeah, and see, that's a mental problem.
And what's worse than that is when we need their validation to authenticate something we already know is good.
Come on, let's talk about it. Because the truth about it is, and it's going on everywhere, and it's a mental strain on us as a people. It's a mental strain in Lorman, Mississippi, at the great institution of Alcorn State. It's a problem over in Scotlandville as you cross over the hump at the Southern University. It's a problem when you take that exit off the highway there and head toward Grambling State University. It's a problem when you go to the 3rd Ward and deal with it at Texas Southern. See, the problem is, we so busy trying to be the HNICs that we can't see that our division is why we cannot come united and win as a whole.
Well, that's because we so conditioned. You know, it's a sense of conditioning that's been handed down from generation to generation to generation, that we cannot succeed together. And when we have those one or two individuals, the Dr. Kings, that will rise up and say, well, we can succeed together, or Barack Obama, we can succeed together. Those individuals, more effort than you can imagine is put in to tearing down that ideology. Until we start to realize that we are 100% responsible for this person, and that person that look like me does not hate me. Until we can get to that, we're going to always be defensive. We're going to always have this wall up. We're going to always have this crabs in the barrel type mentality. Now, the other side of that is the systemic economic deprivation, which basically means that we don't get the resources that we need either to be successful.
Nor do we, Brother Brown, and let me come back into the screen, nor do we, Brother Brown, wind up learning how to impart on each other a share of wealth. See, this is the crazy thing. I can open up a business. As soon as you find out, I can open up a business in the hood. As soon as you find out that I'm the owner of the business, you don't want to support the business, regardless of the level of my customer service, regardless of the
quality of my product,
the quality of my product or whatever. See, somebody said something to me just a few days ago, and it blessed my soul. Here's the problem with us as a people. I have a full-blooded dog, whatever, a puppy, and you're my friend, and I tell you, I'm going to sell you this dog for $1,000. You look at me and say, no, I'm your boy. You should sell it to me for $500.
Correct.
And before you buy that puppy from me for $500, you'll go to the Chinaman, you'll go to the Jewish man, you'll go to the white man, you'll go to another man and buy that dog for $2,500 before you give me $1,000 for a dog that may be more pure blood than the dog you purposed, just because you're saying, with me getting it from you, we devalue. That's the word I want to use.
But here's the thing, brother. Why do you think it's that way?
Because we devalue one another. That's the sad thing. See, we're so caught up in wanting to be top dog, king of the hill, queen of the hill. We devalue brothers and sisters. I see it all the time, and they do it so slickly that they don't know how it's messing with the mentals of young folks, other folks who are of color. When you're sitting down with a person and a person says, well, I remember you when, or they do this number. Are they questioning your credits? Are they questioning your credibility? I tell people all the time, I have that thrown at me constantly. People will go, well, and then they try to be slick with a joke with it. Like, oh, so and-so knows your name. You damn right they know my name. Do they know yours? See, we try to devalue each other, and we try to do it in a joking, slick way to be ha kiki, but but when younger folks are watching, that's the point. They say, hell, the elders can't even get along, but y'all telling us to put the guns down and get along. Hell, y'all can't get along.
I'm so sad in the sense that I have a story that can contribute to that. I remember many years ago, almost 20 years ago, when I opened my doors, I had a lady come in, and she was sitting down and she was like, I'm so excited to be able to bring my son to you because I've heard wonderful things. How much are you going to charge? I said, well, let's throw a figure. Let's say we're going to charge $50 an hour. $50 an hour? That don't make no sense. Why I got to pay $50 an hour? I said, well, he's getting clinical psychotherapy. It's gonna take some work. I don't know about it. Okay, make a long story short. About 6 months later, I received a call from, because she never came back. I got a call from her about 6 months later. And the woman looked, she said, I need to come in and see you. I said, okay. She came in and she really had this very disheveled look on her face. She had her head down, and I was like, what's going on? How have you been? I haven't heard. She said, when I left here, I took my son to someone else. She said, when I started my son seeing him, he charged me $150 an hour. She said, and I paid it. She said, I paid it for 6 months. She said, and my son told me later on, Mama, I wasn't listening to that man. She said, because what does he know about being a young black male? He's not a black male at all. And she said, I am so sorry. I said, wait a minute. I said, so you went and willingly paid $150, but almost tore the paint off the walls in my office when I said said $50.
So you wouldn't pay 3 times more because because for some odd reason, and I don't understand why we're this way. We feel the water is colder on the other side of the street.
Like water don't freeze at 32 degrees over there like you do here. Yeah.
I have seen African Americans defend folks who are non-African Americans as if they were blood relatives. I have seen African Americans not even raise an eyebrow to the defense of other African Americans who were completely right, who were in good standings, right as rain, and had sit there and defended other non-African Americans and had the audacity to say, well, so-and-so, he a good man. I don't know why y'all trying to, she's a good woman. I don't know why you trying to make it seem like this, that, these, no. And then your own brother or sister, maybe some are even relatives of yours, will be in the right, and you won't even lift your eyebrow to say a word. You say, well, how you feel about, oh, well, man, I really don't talk about cuz like that. That's that kind of his own thing. He on his own. We've got to stop that, because the example we are giving to our future generations we are subservient. We are less than. We are not as good as, and guess what? They will continue to try to change the rules of the game. That doesn't mean that you can beat me. Guess what? Every time you place us in any game that they put us in, be it sports or be it sports or be it something that we have to use our minds, we always win. You put Tiger Woods in golf, guess what? All of a sudden, and guess what? Now this is the crazy thing. They really don't want to give him his credit from the black side. Now all of a sudden they want to give his Asiatic side. You know how them Asian folks are. No, listen. You look at the tennis player from Japan. They never really went to well, her dad is a darker man from Jamaica. He black. Hold up, but let some bull crap come out like Santos. This so-called Jewish, half black. Hold it, he ain't got no black in him. Both of his, if you look at his mama and his daddy, you Wikipedia it will even tell you in there. He claimed that he was so ashamed of his heritage and his lineage that he claimed that my daddy was black. His daddy ain't nowhere close to being black. His daddy 100% Hispanic, Latino, period.
Wow.
That part. And we got to stop that. You just be who you are. I've been there. Listen, I can tell you, and it's a mental strain. Listen, family, be you. I've been posting that on my social media. I ain't got no big, long cliche. Everybody want to come out with the hip, hurrah. Listen, in 2023, just be great, be you, be prosperous, but above all, be you. Be whoever you are. Guess what? Sometimes you got to say that maybe me being me just ain't the type me I need to be around you. So that means I need to stay in my lane and stay away from you.
Everyone posted all this. I'm going to cut these kind of people off. I'm going to cut those kind of people off. I was one of those people going towards the end of the year. I said I was going to make some changes. And I made them. I didn't have to post it. I didn't have to run and scream it from the mountaintop. I just had to do it. And we get to this point where we talk about all of these. See, because what we've been talking about for the past almost 30 minutes, 25 minutes, is that these are the stressors that we find ourselves having to deal with at this point in life, in 2023. These are variables that impact your mental health. You have to ask yourself, I see all these cliches. You can't pour from an empty vessel. So you have to have some self-care. Here's the interesting thing. if you are working on being what we call self-actualized, which is the best version of you that you can be, then everything else will fall in place. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. I am at this point where now, and we'll get into that more this year too, about being healthy. You know, I had my beginning of the year checkup, and the doctor was like, now, you know, we are in some very uncharted territory. Your pressure's not high, your cholesterol not high, but it's pre-high, whatever that means. And he said, we never have really had that. It's time for you to start paying closer attention to what you eat and be more consistent when working out. Now, I didn't get it. Oh, I'm about to hit the gym. I just did it. I started going to the gym during the time because my issue was I go in the evenings and then things always seem to come up and I don't make it. So now I get up crack of dawn and I go. So I get up every day and go to the gym. I'm eating better. Lord have mercy, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this king cake season, but I gave up cookies, donuts, cinema just for 30 days. I think we need to stop talking about it and be about it.
That's it. That's it right there.
We have to be about. We are the most talking race of people on the planet.
Come on, talk to me.
We have to get beyond what the old people used to call lip service, beating of the gums. If you are done with a person and you don't want to be on, just do it. Don't have to talk about it.
Correct.
If you're going to be a better version of you, do it. Don't have to tell everybody. But we do that because we want affirmation and we want confirmation.
Correct. You know,
and we don't need it.
Correct.
You know, when Brother Dupree see me 4 weeks from now, he's gonna be like, man, you look good. You know, there's the confirmation that I'm doing what I need to do for me.
We will both see each other very soon in Tulane Stadium.
Correct.
We did this time last year.
That's right.
We will be going to the HBCU Legacy Bowl, and we will be there enjoying ourselves, watching some of the best talent after SWAC and the MEAC play, and NFL scouts to watch them, and hopefully they make their next move into their next level, into professional sports. And speaking of which, much love to everybody who showed all that support for Damar Hamlin. Got you know, for those of us who saw that, for those like me who are on the sidelines of many games, college, professional, high school, from the media standpoint, that was hard to swallow. Yeah. Seeing the young man recover the way that he's recovering makes me know that prayers work. Absolutely. Prayers work. You know, I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna shift gears here. We really, family, have to understand, in my humble opinion, this is very deep when it comes down to what may keep you awake at night and sometimes make you think about your mental state and other people's mental state. You know, I have discovered that you got to know what people are really saying when they say it around you. And you got to know what to take off the table and what to leave on the table. Because many a times what you wind up doing is you take issues off the table and you take it personally that really you should have left it on the table. You know, people will say and do and make you feel a certain way for whatever reason they choose to do that. You got to know who you are. In 2023, I hope this podcast, as you go back and look at some of our prior podcasts, but as we move forward, we really want you to fall in love with you. Because guess what? If you love you, what other folks say about you means absolutely nothing. And many a times, I think a lot of us don't love ourselves to the point we need, as you said, that validation. We need other folks to kind of tell us who we are. No, you need to know who you are, and somebody else telling you who you are and it lines up to who you know who you are is not a validation, but a confirmation. See, we need to move from validation to confirmation. See, we need to make it that when people say things, you say, yeah, that confirms that you realize who I am without me having to tell you who I am. You called it without me having to brag or boast or do anything. Just be you. Like
I have a statement, a quote that I share with my students, and I remember a couple of years ago, one of my students asked me, she said, "Ken, I absolutely use that with your permission." I'm like, sure. She said, no. She said, you're kind of blowing it off because I don't think you know how profound that is. I'm like, okay. So when I started, writing in my book for my book, I wrote it in the book. And it basically says, because I've been called arrogant. I've been called, big-headed. Because I take pride in the fact that I wanted to master the craft that I was going to practice. So when you ask me about counseling, you ask me about social work, you ask me about therapy, I know my stuff. So I had one of my colleagues to say that I was arrogant. And I formed this statement. You calling me arrogant is your problem with my self-confidence. And my student, she looked, when I told him that, I said, see, you have a problem with my self-confidence. And that's a you problem, not a me problem. And we have to stop dialing ourselves down and dialing ourselves back in order to get that affirmation that we some of us need. We have to downplay who we are. I do a presentation called "Eagles Don't Fly with Pigeons."
Come on.
And one of my young brothers, man, he's my brother by another mother, just like you. He loves that because I tell him we eagles, and pigeons get uncomfortable when an eagle come around.
Because it might be snack time.
Yeah, because the eagle, I could eat you, right? If I really wanted to. And there's nothing you could do about it.
Right.
And too often as eagles, we try to keep our wings held in tight. And it's uncomfortable because if you really show who you are, see, you always got to be spreading your 10-foot wings. You always got to fly higher than everybody. Why you up? So we have a tendency to tone that down, which puts a strain on our mental health.
Correct. Yeah.
If you cannot fly around other eagles, then you need to look at where you're flying. What the old saying say? If you're the smartest person in the room,
you in the wrong room.
You're in the wrong room. You need to find another room.
You in the wrong room. This year, I want folks to understand. And I put it in that post when I was telling people we're coming on tonight. Suicide is at an all-time high. Not only with people of certain ages, but when you really go to people who are Black and brown, suicide is at an all-time high.
82% over the past 20 years.
So you got to ask yourself, we deal with constant bombardment from the media of police brutality, constant bombardment of the media of certain political groups not valuing us as a people, not seeing us as a viable constituent to be a part of this country, to contribute to the greater good in this country. It's sad to me how folk who built this place, because this place was built by slave labor of our ancestors, of people of Black and brown descendants. For us to have built this place, literally for nothing, literally for nothing, that you don't see the value we bring to this society is quite disturbing to me.
It makes me think we are in the time of Dr. King. Dr. King said the slaves were freed, so-called by the Emancipation Proclamation, right?
Come on.
So then you put them out. They have no money. They have nothing to put clothes on their back, nowhere to go. But land was being given away thousands of acres at a time in the Midwest, but none to the slaves. So then you adopt this, well, y'all need to suck it up and pull your bootstraps up. How are you going to tell a man to pull his bootstraps up when he don't have no boots?
Come on.
You know, the system has been set up to deprive this man of boots, of the resources that he needs. And then when we get these resources, we have to go through twice as much to get them. We have to have twice as much to attain them, and 3 times as much to keep them.
Right.
So I think that when we start looking at the stressors that society puts on us, don't you think that's enough then for us to be putting stresses on ourselves, trying to keep up with the Joneses?
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? I think that we have to stop putting stressors on ourselves because it's enough on its own.
Right. I mean, listen, for you to wake up every morning, a man of color, a woman of color, knowing that you're sending your children of color out in this world with everything that you are inundated with on a daily basis, on how easy it is for us to be misconstrued, for us to be taken the wrong way, for us to raise our voice at the wrong time, at the wrong place, and somebody say, I was in fear of my life. I had to stand my ground. And that child that you sent off may not come back home. That husband that you saw leave your house may not come back to home, back to that same house that night. That wife, a significant other that left out the house. You know, I can give you the Tamir Rice. I can give you the Sarah Bland. I can give you the George Floyd. That day when they left,
they didn't think they would come home.
Right. No one in their family thought that they were going to wake up that next day and be like, they're not here no more. You know, that is a mental. Listen, family, we're going to have to start loving on one another.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to start asking the uncomfortable question, no matter how good you look. Because I posted it. I had Twitch on there. I had Miss USA on there.
Correct.
I had Robin Williams on there. And the list go on and on and on. We know folk from our actual local area. We had a young lady in Opelousas jumped off the Mississippi Bridge.
That's right.
I mean, come on, family.
With these stressors, these societal stressors.
Come on.
They're out there. Every day we come in contact with them, and you have to have an outlet. It's okay to seek counseling. It's okay to find that professional. But what I think we're going to focus on this year is making sure you are not and I find myself quoting, my ancestors a lot today. But, my grandfather used to say, you don't cut your nose to spite your face.
Come on.
We have to stop shooting ourselves in the foot and start to say, you know what? I'm going to rise. I'm going to rise. I wish you well, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be an eagle. I can't hang out. Pigeons don't hang out in bunches. I mean, eagles might have 1 or 2 in the same area, but pigeons hang in flocks.
Right.
Are you a pigeon or are you an eagle? Now, you may have to ask yourself and be honest with oneself. I care more about what other people say than I care about what I think of myself. You have to be honest.
Hold it. I need you. Whoa. Stop. We can't just say that and move on. I need you to say that real slow one more again. And people, I need y'all to really listen and really maybe look the man or the woman in the mirror and ask yourself this question.
That's what we're going to challenge you to do this year.
Say that again, my brother, and say it slow.
Some of us care more about what other people think of us than what we think of ourselves. And that is the driving force behind our behavior, our feelings, and our ideologies. We think in terms of, is what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, what I'm presenting, is it going to be pleasing to them? Instead of, am I pleased with me?
Ouch. Ouch. If you can't,
and we have to be honest, that's how we think and that's how we live. So we put that stress on ourselves. We put that anxiety on we carry that baggage around until we get to the point where we say, this is me. This is a version of me. I always strive to be a better version of me.
Come on.
But right now, this is what I am. And I'm okay with it, regardless of what you may think and what you may feel.
Yeah, you know,
like I tell people, your approval is desired, but it's not required.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying?
Come on.
I would love to have your approval, but if I don't, I'm still moving on forward with what I'm doing. So we're going to work so much this year on having people challenge themselves, check themselves mentally. Do you have a healthy mindset? That's what we're going to talk about this year. That's our goal for 2023. We're going to make sure the individuals that come in contact with these podcasts, it improves the quality of their thought processes. The way they think about different things, the way they think about, employment, the way you think about family, the way you think about friends, the way you think about religion, the way you think about your physical health.
Right.
We're going to try to impact the way you think, and it will be a no truer statement that a healthier you is a better
you. Is a better, because it starts with self. How do you think about yourself? I tell folks our biggest problem is, and I told somebody this. Somebody said, "Hey man, how do you feel about 2023?" I said, "Well," I said, it's here. It's here. And I said, I'll be very honest with you. I said, up until this point in my life, I have literally heard what the stewardess said on the loudspeaker and paid it absolutely no attention.
Exactly.
And then about a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, I tried to figure out, why is it that everybody else is breathing and I barely can breathe? It's because she said, in case of,
and put it on who first?
Put it on me. But see, I heard her, but no, I had to be the man who saved everybody. So I heard her, and I know what might happen. But let me put 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me put all.
Then I'll do me. Yeah.
Then I'll do me. But no. Guess what? I can't have all y'all breathing, and then I'm laying on the ground about to die because I ain't getting no air.
And because then guess what? All those people you saved ain't putting your mask on you.
Not yet. So hold on. And guess what? And then here's where it comes. Man, let me find this. I got to read this for y'all. Y'all got to get it. Tonight, y'all gonna get it. Because we back. We said it the last time. We back.
We are challenging everyone.
So I've got a group of folk. And I ain't trying to call nobody out, because if I got to call you out, I'm going to call you out by name. So I'm not going to throw no shade. This ain't the year of me throwing shade. None of that. I'm going to be straight up. There's a group of people I know always talking about stay humble. Stay humble. Stay humble. You need to stay humble. Stay humble. Watch it. Stay humble. Let me show you what somebody wrote about staying humble. You think you're humble, but wait until God or life instructs you to serve someone who hurt you, tells you to bless them that have betrayed you, tell you to minister to and open your house to and give refuge to the same very people who salted your name. Then we're going to find out.
Can you do it?
Are you humble enough?
Can you do it? That's what they say. Can you do it?
That part.
Can you do it? Yeah. Well, this is a journey that we're on. From the time that we're born until the time that we transition, we should be on a journey of self-improvement. That's what we should be on. we should be on a journey to be the best us that we. And if you are the same you yesterday, and you're the same person today, then you wasted 24 hours. I try to pride myself on learning one new thing every day.
Facts, feelings, hearsay. Come on.
And then that means I'm smarter today than I was yesterday.
What did you learn today, Charlie Brown?
That's right. One new thing today. That's right. So I think as we kind of lay out our roadmap for 2023, we find ourselves in the middle of this whirlwind of confusion on what is quality mental health, like energy. And at the end of the day, we are going to lay out a map. We are going to get here every Wednesday, and we're going to talk about improving the ideology and the way that you think, especially in regards to your mental health. I think that for so long, we've had an opportunity to talk about the struggles that we see, the obstacles that's been placed before us as a race of people. But guess what? We still putting out doctors. We're still putting out lawyers. We're still putting out presidents. We're still putting out counselors and therapists. But we have to make a commitment that this year, I'm not just going to be better, but I'm going to think better. I'm going to change my thought processes.
Come on.
I'll never forget, there's a young brother that used to work for me. And I remember how, and I'm not ashamed to say this, because I'll tell you the story, how I blew him off. I was outside of a really good soul food joint. And the young brother, I'm leaning on my car. I'm leaning on the convertible BMW, right? And the young brother come walking towards me. And of course, I'm kind of looking at him. And he walked up to me and he said, "Excuse me, brother. How'd you get this car?"
Come on. Talk to me. Preach to him.
That's what he said,
brother.
And I looked at him. I said, "A lot of hard work. That's how." And that brother said, I need specifics. He said, because I want a car like this. He said, I want to know step by step what you did to get this car. I was like, look, man, I got to get my food. I said, look, here you go. Here's one of my cards. Call me. Went in and got my food, got my car and drove off. A week later, my secretary said, there's a young man out here said that he'd like to speak with you. I said, I don't have any appointments. She said, well, he said that he met you and you gave him a card. I said, gave him a card? So I said, let me come up there. And it was this young brother. He said, man, I put your address in the Google Maps and I was wondering, you got time to talk? And I brought the young brother in my office and he was serious. He said, I want the finer things in life. And I want the best. My grandpa always said, find somebody that got what you got and you want, and then ask somebody that did it.
Come on.
That young brother worked for me for almost 5 years and became one of the best counselors that has worked for me in a long time.
But listen. So let's bookmark that because there's a couple of things I need to do, some house cleaning. So let's bookmark that for this one reason. Black men and black women, brothers and sisters.
We're gonna talk a lot about that this year.
We need to do more of what that man just did right there, because so many times we want people to do good, but we don't want them to do better than us. We don't want to give people the formula or the recipe for success because we scared they're gonna get more than us. We don't, somebody called me tonight before we went on this podcast and they brought to my attention how many doors I had opened for some folk. And they said, man, I feel like these folk owe you. I said, no, they don't owe me nothing because I didn't do it for them to pay me. I said, my reward. I said, see, we're going to talk about a lot this year that's going to get a lot of folks uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk about the difference between religion and spirituality, because some of y'all act like y'all spiritual, but y'all really religious. Okay, so we're gonna talk about stuff like that. We're gonna get because all this affects your mental health. See, the last thing we need is a whole bunch of Santoses telling us how to be who we need to be, because they don't even know who they are. And
I can't wait.
And you know, grandma used to say this: real recognize real.
Hey, I can't wait till we talk about love as an action word.
Come on. So we got a lot to unpack it.
Well, it's gonna be a good year. This is gonna be a very good year. Love is an action word. Right. Yeah, you know, and I think that we have to get to the point where now we take this podcast to another level. And this is where we start to hold people accountable. And we start holding people accountable, not for you, not for me, but for themselves. Right. Because guess what? If you're the best you can be, I'm the best me I can be, then we good.
Right. And the community,
we're good.
And the community begins to become a better community, because each one teach one and elevates one. See, if we elevating each other, see, I ain't got time to talk about what you not doing. I got time to help show you how to be successful in what you're doing, where that blueprint can be seen by someone else and we can continue to win. See, we so busy trying to be number one, we want everybody else to be number two. No, not in 2023, not Joe Dupree. Dupree want everybody to cross the finish line and get a trophy, get a plaque, get an award, get recognition, and use that blueprint to pass on to our future generations, that they begin to understand that I am more than a conqueror. I am more than what they tell me I am. I am what I have seen. Sometimes you can only be what you see.
That's right. And we have to be very conscious of the influences that we allow to pour into us. You know, I have this ongoing, issue. All of these reality shows, the housewives of this and the housewives of that and the this and that, it's built on top of drama. If it's not drama filled, we don't want to watch it. You know, even the shows, I saw one Rich Something Africans or something. It was and it's about a bunch of young, almost billionaire, young African kids. Their families are very rich. And it shows their everyday life. But I said to myself, I'm watching it 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I said, now, I like this, but this ain't going to sell because there's no drama. And lo and behold, before I could finish the sentence, here comes the drama. I said, okay, now this is what's going to sell. Unfortunately, that's where we are. But right now, we're going to make a commitment in 2023, at least you and I are, that we're going to hold people accountable for self.
Come on.
So if you watch this podcast, I'm looking at you right now and I'm saying, I'm going to hold you accountable to be the best you can be.
Come on.
And if anything we can do to help you on your journey, we're here.
That's it. So with that being said, as you see right now on the screen, I have positivechoicescounseling.org. Listen, that's the website. You can go there. If you feel you need some counseling services, they work with mostly all the insurances. They also have a sliding scale in case you do not have insurance. But before you put yourself in a position that you feel like you have absolutely no one to talk to, please go to this website, call one of his locations, and say, I need to talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
On the post, I put on there the 24/7, 365 suicide prevention line. The reason why is I'm tired of folks who have the information and won't give you the information. And then we the first ones to say, well, I'm not withholding anything this year. I'm going to be in 2024, whatever I got in 2023, I'm going to be empty. I'm not gonna have anything left because I'm putting it all out there.
Woo, I like
for
that.
For the greater good of all, because I want to see everyone win. I want to see folk wake up, and instead of leaving the hood, rebuilding the hood, tearing their houses down in the hood and rebuilding the hood to look like the other area of town that they're trying to get to. You know, I've seen people do it. See, I have a man that lived right around the corner from me. He was living in some normal hood houses. They tore down them houses. They rebuilt the houses. They got some of the most loveliest houses in our community. Come on, family. There are blueprints out there that have been put out there. Well, and we need to start looking at things, and we need to be just as tenacious as the young man that came to my brother right here and asked the question. Hey,
Ricardo Newell. I want you to know Ricardo Newell is, I never forgot that brother, and he's still doing well to this day. But I'm with you, brother Dupree. We gave up Positive Choices, you know, with us living here in Natchez, and we have an office in Lafayette.
Right.
You know, I got tired of staying in a hotel, so we got an apartment.
I understand.
And the apartment was so nice that they kept going up on the rent. So as of last month, I gave up the apartment. And here's what I'm doing. I got a young lady looking for me a house somewhere. You know, I want to fix her upper. So it'll probably be in the neighborhood, you know, that I'm going to have to put some work into, but I'm okay because I always believe investing and reinvesting in our community.
Come on.
You know, so I want everyone that's watching this, as we close out this last 3 minutes, I don't care what resolutions you made for 2023. I'm looking at you right now and I'm telling you, you're enough. You're enough just the way you are. Now what we're going to do is make a commitment to build on what you already are right now. We're going to build on that going into 2023. Don't let anybody or any circumstance or anything make you believe you are not enough, because you are. But we can always be better.
Amen.
So what we're going to do this year is we're going to challenge everybody to whatever, like what we said, the technical difficulties made us end early last week, but I kept saying we don't have any new resolutions this year.
Right.
What we made a commitment was we were going to focus on the things we did well last year and do them even better this year.
That part.
That's our resolution. We're going to focus on not what we didn't do last year, but we're going to focus on what we did and make a commitment to do it better. And that is our commitment for you, to be here for you, to help change that mindset that you have, to make you think that, okay, I can be better in this area. That's right. And support you through that.
Right.
Be here for questions, to be here for direction, to be here for support. See, because that's what happens when people take their own lives. They feel alone and they don't feel there's anyone there to support them or anyone there to understand what they're going through or anyone there that's willing to listen to what they're going through. We're here.
Right. That part.
We're here and we're not going anywhere.
That part. So family, we're going to be here in 2023. We're getting ready to go into the King holiday. It will be a day on and not a day off for so many of us. But once again, you know, every day should be King Day. Every day you should be concerned about the well-being of those around you. And we have to start with self. Once again, I have nothing against anybody else who does not look like me, who may not have grew up like me, who may not be from my ethnical background. But at the end of the day, I have to first clean up my house before I clean anybody else's house. So family, if you want to go back and look at any of our podcasts, you can go to the all new 100blk.com, the100blk.com. You'll go down, you'll see it, click on it. There's all our podcasts are there as about this time. I'm going to let my brother close it out. Let me put him up again. PositiveChoicesCounseling.org. That's the website. Go there and check him out. Last but not least, my brother, Edward J. Brown. Take us out, Ed.
What do we say? If nobody else told you today, we love you. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.